Hi, and welcome to my second book review of Bring Out the Magic of Your Mind. And in case you haven't watched the first one yet, just briefly, this was the book that changed my life and took me from earning £60 a week up to £5,000 a week, £7,000 a week, and helped me become a published author and climb out of a hospital bed ahead of schedule, set UK and European and world records within my industry, and many other things as well. And it's a book that really can transform your life. And as always, there'll be a link in the bottom in the comments section. I don't earn any money if you go and buy this book, but if you're looking to really transform your life, then I would suggest that you watch the first video that I've done, and because this one I'm just going to be picking on two chapters, and I'm going to do another review of some other important chapters a little bit later. Now, there's no editing in my videos, there's no fancy graphics going up on the screen or anything like that, so you don't actually have to watch. You can listen to this video as you're washing up or cooking dinner or whatever you want, wherever you want. Alternatively, what you can do is you can go and grab yourself a nice cup of tea, press pause, get yourself a glass of water or herbal tea or something. I've got my fennel tea here at the moment, and find your comfy chair and settle in, and let's enjoy this chapter that I've got for you here. Well, two chapters really. Okay, so on with this. Al-Quran, by the way, was a magician in the UK. He was a mental magician as well as a normal magician as well. Invented many tricks, and a lot of secrets, they say, went to the grave with this man. And as you know, as I said in the first video, just very quickly, you always sort of remember your first love, right? And this was my first love, because it was a book that just transformed my whole life, as I say. By the way, I'm in my most comfy position, which is sat on the floor. It stems from when I was a child. As kids, we were never allowed on the furniture. I think we were viewed as dirty dogs or something, but that's another video entirely. So anyway, what is the first chapter in this book? The first chapter in this book is about belief, and it's called The Magic of Belief. That is the first chapter here, look. Now, some of you here may well be switching off already. Oh, belief, I've got to listen to belief. I know about belief, I know that, is what a lot of people will say. And there's three words there that you want to eliminate from your vocabulary anyway. I know that. They're very harmful because it stops you from learning or listening to anything else. So try and eliminate those out of your life. And the other thing as well is that just because it's common knowledge, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily common practice, right? Well, this book was first published, I think it was 63 or 64, 65, somewhere around there. And at that time, Al-Quran had to sell really the concept of belief. And I think now that it's come sort of full circle, because so many people, when you mention the word belief, oh, you must have a belief, limiting beliefs, you must have a belief, people automatically switch off because they've heard it so many times before. And it's as if they're looking for something, that's newer. Is that a word? Newer. Or more new. So because they've heard it before, and I speak to a lot of people about this sort of stuff, but the people switch off. As soon as you start mentioning belief, I see them switched off. But those are the same people that aren't full of belief and aren't getting what they want to get. Yet you talk to them about belief and they say, I know that. So I'm actually glad that Al-Quran put this as the very first chapter in his book, because belief is the foundation for all your success. If you're not getting what you want in life, then it will be to do with your belief. So the magic of belief is like selling you the idea. So you want to be open to what he's suggesting in here. And a lot of the time I say to people when they're reading a self-help book, you know, if there's something that sort of turns you off, or you think, oh, I know that, or you sort of want to push it aside or skip the chapter, I usually say they're the chapters that you got to read more of, you know. So again, the great thing about this book is that it's so inspiring that you can just pick it up and, you know, open it at any page and you can read something, and it's really, really good. So Al-Quran here does an excellent job of selling belief to you. So if you're not on board with that, or if you're not getting what it is you want, you know, you really want to get in life, then read the chapter and reread it and reread it and reread it. The unconscious mind, the subconscious mind likes repetition, right? So I just need to have a sip of your tea if you made one, or your water, or whatever it was. I need to just flick these glasses over to my El Cheapo reading glasses. I'm always standing on my glasses, you see, so I buy these £2.50 ones. Not always, but often. So anyway, here's an excerpt from his book. It's on page 3 on the first chapter of The Magic of Belief. And he says this: to bring out the magic in your mind, belief is the very first essential. There was a young man in financial difficulties who approached his wealthy brother for a small loan. The brother, in a temper, said, "Go jump off the pier." The brother did not believe, so would not help. He looked upon it as mere cadging. The greatest psychologist the world has ever known believed in human nature, even when it was nailing him to one of his own trees. You have not, and here's an important part here, you have not only got to believe in yourself, but you have got to believe in the other fellow. You cannot bring the magic out of your mind in any other way. It is the belief within you that brings outwards the material results. So I hope you can, you know, that resonates with you in some way, because it really did, you know, resonate with me. And the part here, not only have you got to have a belief in, I've got to look over my glasses, do I look like a teacher now? I hope not. But, you know, it's not just about having a belief in the other fellow as well, and Al-Quran does mention these things throughout the book, but you've got to have a belief in what's possible, and then you've got to have a belief in your abilities to learn and to develop new skills and to train yourself. So you've got to believe in yourself, you've got to believe in the other person as well. And you've also got to believe in the world. You've got to believe that the world is a great place, because what you believe is what you're going to see everywhere. So it's really, really, really important. But the one there is the one with other people, right? Because other people are so quick to, you know, dampen your spirits. And Al-Quran puts it very succinctly here. He says this: if things are not happy and prosperous with you, it is not too late. So it doesn't matter your age. Belief is the magic formula. Now tell anyone how you hope to get this and get that by magic, and they will throw cold water over you, as it were. They will laugh and think you crazy. They will drop doubts in your way and close your channels with their negative words. How often do you see that, right? It was exactly the same 2,000 years ago. The greatest psychologist knew this. He knew that such knowledge was only for those who were ready to accept it. That is why when the disciples were taught how to work miracles, or magic, through the wonderful power of belief, they were given the secret and sent forth with the words, "Go, but tell no man." It is when you tell other people that troubles begin. They tease, they laugh, they ridicule, and they put every stumbling block in the way to prevent you from carrying out your plans. Now, isn't that just so true? Doesn't that happen today? Don't you see on social media everywhere that you have to be careful of who you hang around with? And it's just so true. You know, you do have to be careful of of who you're hanging around with. And when you do start telling people, yes, I'm going to start getting this and getting that and getting the other, and how are you going to get that one? You know, I feel so powerful now, I feel like I've got the belief to do it. They will throw cold water over on you. So, you know, you have to be really, really wary of that. Now, at the end of each chapter, Al-Quran, I'm not going to read it for you, I'll let you read that for yourself. He does always give an example of how he uses belief at the end of each chapter, and it sort of gives you an insight into him. It's like you get to know him, which is really, really good. So the second chapter in this book, chapter number 2, is he tells you about how belief works. And his concept here is that the earth has a magnetic pole, right, that runs through north to south. Well, it's just off the north and south that we use to navigate with. But you've probably heard of the magnetic pole, right? And it's all about electricity, and I prefer to call it, and he says that your body is, you know, full of electricity, which it is. I prefer to use the term, you know, energy. And when I was reading this book, you know, I was full of that energy, and he tells you in here about how you're going to be full of this energy and this electricity, and how it can enhance your powers, as it were. And I remember feeling that as well. I felt like, you know, literally I felt like sparks were coming out of me, because I was so excited, even though I was so poor when I was reading the book. I was so excited because I knew I developed the belief that I was going to achieve, you know, my wildest dreams and goals as well. And it's also about really, you know, raising your mind. You've got to rise above the pettiness of other people as well. And the one point he mentions again about other people, right? And remember, this was written in 1963, so as I said before, today we're told constantly on memes, you know, about be careful who you hang around with and be careful of what other people think. And he just gives an example here, you know. He says, never be afraid of they. People are more afraid of they than anything else in the world. Isn't that true? Aren't we all scared of taking criticism and online ridicule and that sort of stuff, and people posting nasty comments about us? And he says they laughed at Marconi. Even his own father laughed at him. He wanted him to throw up his ambitions and grow up as a country gentleman and study music. But Marconi believed in himself and preferred to experiment with electrical equipment in the attic. His father more than once threatened to throw it out of the window. Marconi cared nothing what the world thought and became one of the greatest men since Christopher Columbus. He harnessed the ether to the service of man. The Fords, the Edisons, the Marconis, and many others who have accomplished great things all began with the mind. And there's another part here that I really want to emphasise for you that's in the book. And the book, that this whole chapter really covers this. I've jumped right forward in this chapter. And he goes on to say here, your belief can bring out the magic in your mind. If people laugh at you and your super optimism, because he tells you in here you must become an optimist par excellence. And he says here, if people laugh at you and your super optimism, know that it was exactly the same 2,000 years ago. And now I love this, and because I was running around with all that, you know, electricity in me, I felt charged, you know, and but not everyone else was like that. Not everybody was as excited as me and full of the same positivity. And so it's this that I like. It's the psychology I like of this. And it says in the Bible, and he marvelled at their unbelief. So that's how you can tackle and deal with other people who are trying to ridicule you or laugh at you when you're full of that belief and positivity because you're reading this book, you can just marvel at them, which is what I used to do, not in a condescending manner, but inside my head. I used to think, wow, I was like that once as well. And that's why I wasn't, achieving any of my goals. I was 27 years old and in dead-end jobs. And, so marvel at other people's unbelief, if you like. And one of the whole themes running through this book is that you have to raise your mind to a higher level. You've got to rise above the pettiness of other people and what's going on in the world. And if you do that, this book, like I said at the beginning, it really will transform your life as well. So I hope you like that review. I am going to do probably 2 more on this book. And the reason being, as I said at the beginning and in the previous video, it's because I love this book. And you will too. It doesn't matter what stage you are in your life. If you're not getting those things, if you want to achieve your wildest dreams, if you've got dreams that have been on the back burner for too long, or you've put to sleep, or whatever reason, you've not had the belief maybe, then grab a copy of this book. It's only about £9, I think, the new version. There are some that you can go and buy that's second hand or used and in good condition. So I hope you like that review. Please drop your comments down below, or click like or share this. I really appreciate it. Until next time, this is that wise old dude saying thanks for listening and thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye bye.